Prepare to experience the strongest radio allowable by law. Secrets will be revealed. Myths dispelled. From the studio gym where excuses never apply, it's Superhuman Radio with your host, Carl Lenore.
Welcome back to another episode of Superhuman Radio. We have a fascinating show for you today. Quite frankly, I really didn't think there was a lot of science behind it, but apparently there is, and we have a guy that's going to be on the show in just a minute, Dr. Justin Arambasick, who is part of the Wild Health team of physicians, who's actually certified, highly certified to practice medicine using ozone. And we're going to get to the bottom of it. You know, I like I said, I was very skeptical. Some of the people that wanted me to consider ozone therapy, I didn't really trust their judgment. But I have a lot to learn in this area. So we're going to talk about that a little bit later today here. So we have to first thank our title sponsor, Legendary Foods. EatLegendary.com. Use the code SHR10 for 10% off. If you are a low sugar guy, and I'm becoming more and more zealot-like about low sugar. You know, I've always been a low carb guy, but I've always felt like, well, you know, a little sugar here, a little sugar there, dessert and stuff like that. My favorite sambuca after a good meal, loaded with sugar. I'm starting to rethink sugar completely. I mean, I'm starting to become an anti-sugar zealot, and for good reason, that we're going to talk about in an upcoming show. But keep this in mind, that it's sugar that destroys the chondrocytes in articular joints. And if you are someone who's diabetic and you have raging sugar levels, it makes its way into the joint. Remember, glucosamine is a sugar and an amino acid bound together. And so the higher your sugar levels, the more sugar that gets into your joints, the faster chondrocytes get destroyed. And there's no mystery that people with type 2 diabetes have the highest rate of osteoarthritis as well. So if you're like me and you are a low sugar guy, you want to go to eatlegendary.com because they have the best snacks and desserts that you'll ever find, and all of them have less than 1 gram of sugar. So check them out and let them know that I sent you, please. Now, without further delay, we have Dr. Justin Arambasick. He is a physician practicing with the Wild Health group in Lexington, Kentucky. Welcome to the show, Justin. Did I say Jason just now, or did I say Justin?
You said Justin.
Okay. I'm doing 60 things at one time and trying to think, and I am 62 years old. So welcome to the show, and it's nice to see you again. I saw you just about a month or so ago in Lexington. How are you?
I'm great. And thanks for asking. Thank you for having me. It's an honor and a privilege to be here. So thank you very much.
So I shared with you last time we were together that I've been very skeptical about ozone because it almost sounds like the Carney sideshow snake oil. It's good for everything. At least if you talk to some people, it's good for everything. And you were very quick to point out that it's good for some things. And I thought that just that alone made me trust the information from you because the people that I've talked to before say that it cures everything from aging to gray hair. You know, it's like everything in between. And so, first of all, what exactly is ozone for the audience, right? It's a gas, right?
Absolutely. It's before I start, I'll say that absolutely, without question, it does not cure gray hair.
I wish it would. Look at me. Look at me. This is my COVID hair. I dyed my hair for the better part of 12 years, and one COVID epidemic, and I'm all gray. So there you go.
I think gray is a good look.
Yeah, I'm stuck with it now. The cat is out of the bag. There's no going back. So what exactly is ozone, Justin?
So ozone is oxygen. It is just oxygen that is made when the oxygen you breathe, O2, is split and reforms with 3 molecules of oxygen. So it's O3. And how that happens is, the most common way it happens is you think about the ozone and the ozone layer, and that's solar radiation hitting oxygen in the atmosphere and builds up the ozone layer. The other really common way that it happens is lightning. Lightning charges and splits the oxygen, and then it reforms into O3. And that's why after you go to on a lightning storm, you're outside, you can smell it. There's like an ozone smell.
Yeah. So for people who don't know what an ozone smells like, it almost has a mild ocean water smell, and but it's very distinguishable. You can tell when there's high levels of ozone in the air because the air has this. How would you describe the scent of ozone?
I think that the water aspect is really good. I always think about like maybe a lake or a pond.
Yes.
Sort of.
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I never knew that. So lightning can actually be an ozone generator of sorts then.
Yeah, and here's an amazing factoid. I learned that in Venezuela there is what's called the Catatumbo lightning storms, and they produce 10% of the ozone in the world because they have a rate of like 1.2 million lightning strikes a year there, and just constantly shooting out this lightning. An amazing ozone generator. 10%.
So does ozone can it go back and forth from being ozone to just being regular O2, or once it's ozone it stays that way?
Oh no, it switches. It's highly reactive and unstable. Its half-life, if you put it in maybe a glass container, it'll dismutate at a rate 50% in 45 minutes. Plastic 30 minutes. It's very reactive out in the air. It only lasts seconds.
So what is ozone therapy? What is ozone therapy? When we take ozone and we use it for different therapeutic purposes, what are the different ways that we can use ozone?
So if you're asking about applied, there's multiple different ways. The most traditional way is what's known as major autochemotherapy, and that's when you take blood in an IV bag, whether it's a bag or it's a bottle, and you pull out a set amount, and then after that's removed, you then put ozone through the bag or the bottle, and it is then mixed directly with the blood. It comes in contact with the blood immediately, forming what's known as lipid peroxides or peroxones or ozonides. And these ozonides are what get put back in the body because the ozone itself is reacted in the blood immediately. It is gone, snap of the fingers. It's these ozonides that have an effect in the blood. And these ozonides will then travel throughout your entire system, having multiple effects through it. And that's how blood ozonation is done. The other types that you can use are rectal insufflation.
Oh, that sounds like a party.
Absolutely.
Hey, everybody, come over to the house. We're doing rectal ozone laser.
Could you imagine? Absolutely. What a sell, right? But it actually
men always revert back to 9-year-old boys. Anytime poop,
absolutely.
rectal, anything like that comes into play, it's like we become 9-year-olds again. Oh yeah.
You can't even say smiling. But yeah, it's rectally given, and it's quite effective that way. Not as effective as the blood, but it's nice because then you don't have to deal with an IV stick. You can do it at home if you have your own home ozone generator. We can do it in the office too. So that's another way that it's given. Another way is limb bagging. Like you can take a bag and put the ozone into it and cover up a limb if you had cellulitis or fungal infections. I know you've talked about that before in the past, but you wrap up the bag, put the ozone in, and let it sit there for about 30 minutes, and it's an amazing cure for fungal infections of the skin. You can do ear insufflation, where you like literally put a stethoscope in. You can use bladder insufflation, which is amazing for interstitial cystitis. You know, those people are very miserable. It's one treatment that works very effectively for that.
Does the colon, how do you say it, insufflation?
Insufflation.
So does the colon insufflation also benefit the prostate?
It can, but you can also inject directly in front of or by the prostate. Some people will inject into the prostate, but if you get it right around the prostate, it's very beneficial. If you expose it to the ozone, so it has multiple benefits for prostate problems. The bladder insufflation is also excellent, and you can use things both at the same time. You could even triple. You can do an IV and a rectal at the same time, or an IV and a bladder at the same time. But the effects for prostatitis are well known. The other ones that are good for ozonated water, you can ozonate water and drink it.
Okay, so that's a very common, easy way to expose yourself to ozone. What does that do to the microbiome? Does it have any effects on the microbiome?
You know, that's a subject that people have different opinions on. But by and large, I don't think so. And a lot of lectures I went to, they said that they don't think so either. Some people believe that it might have, if any, a minor effect, and it's easily, you know, managed with some probiotics if you did have any effect. But by and large, nobody's really seeing much of an effect from that.
Okay, so putting different areas of the body in contact with ozone is where the value comes from. I like the blood-infused ozone because I always thought they actually infused ozone into your blood, but that would be reckless because you would end up with air of some sort or gas, and that could cause some problems. So they actually, they draw your blood, they ozonate it, and then they put it back into you. People say they feel something. Do you feel something? Do you think you really feel something when that blood is reinfused?
Yeah, I've heard it from multiple people. They have increased energy. They have better mental alertness. They have better exercise tolerance. I even had one that has asthma and said that, you know, exercise-induced asthma anyway, and said when he went and played basketball after that, he didn't even have a flare of his asthma whatsoever.
So a very common problem we have today, and there's a lot of debate whether it's mitochondrial generated or we have a lot of people have chronic fatigue. It could be a byproduct of autoimmunity. It could be a byproduct of mitochondrial dysfunction. It could be a byproduct of other things that we haven't discovered. Is there any evidence that ozone benefits people who suffer from chronic fatigue?
Absolutely. That's one of the things that's most well researched, especially in regards to the mitochondrial function. It is a known metabolic stimulant. Mitochondrial function goes up. And the way that it works like that is that we can measure an increased arterial venous difference. So of oxygen, so the amount of oxygen used. So from your vein to your artery, you can do a treatment and it'll be narrow. And then after the treatment, you can see this big widening. So less oxygen in the venous return. So when you see this, what does that? What takes the oxygen out of the blood? The mitochondria. The mitochondria using it. So then when you see this, it makes the mitochondria work better. That's what it means. They're using more oxygen. And when they're using more oxygen, what does that do? It gives you more energy. And so then it creates this mitochondrial biogenesis, mitochondrial, you know, flourish, and people have more energy, less fatigue. It's excellent for chronic fatigue states.
So do you think, so we know that if you follow the work of Dr. Thomas Seyfried and many others now after his original research, we know that cancer is a metabolic disorder. And we feel strongly that we know that it starts at the mitochondria, not at the oncogene, that the oncogene changes after the mitochondria has switched to anaerobic respiration and glycolysis. With that being said, if ozone has such a profound effect on the mitochondria, is it a possible adjunct to standards of care that we're using for cancer treatment now?
Yes, absolutely. Now I'll go ahead and say, and just like you said, it's not a cure, but it's excellent adjunct therapy. And why? Because it increases oxygen utilization. Like you said, that's one of the main things it shows. That's what Otto Warburg won that Nobel Prize for so many years ago. Absolutely.
He should have won the Nobel Prize, not for the way of detecting cancer, but a way of curing cancer. Because so many therapies now, we understand that if you shut off glucose to a number of types of cancers, you kill the cancer.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's amazing. And so it's amazing adjunct to that for that reason. And then it's also an amazing adjunct because it boosts your immune system. And what do cancer patients get? They get sick all the time because they're on immune suppressants and chemotherapy. So in conjunction with that, with traditional chemotherapy, it's great. It improves multiple aspects in multiple cases. Any ozone practitioner I've talked to always seems to have some amazing story with it. Now, again, it's not a standalone treatment, but that's the great thing about ozone. And you can apply this to anything with ozone. It is only going to help whatever the standard treatment is. You can add it to any other treatment, whether you're talking about cardiac, cellulitis, hepatitis, chronic infections, acute infections. It is safe to be given in just about every aspect and works better with traditional therapies.
Now we know that too much oxygen can damage the lungs, right? People who go into these iron lungs, what do they call them? The hyperbaric chambers. They have to be careful how much oxygen they get because too much oxygen actually can damage the lungs. Is there any threat to damaging the lungs from breathing raw ozone out of an ozone generator? You see, a lot of people buy ozone generators, put them in a room. Like, do you have to be careful not to get too close to that and inhale too high of a concentration?
Yes, that is the one way you don't want to expose yourself to ozone. So your lung lines do not have the antioxidant capacity to handle ozone. Everywhere else in your body does, whether you give it in your blood or contact with your skin, but your lungs cannot tolerate it. That being said, if you expose yourself to ozone, you have to expose yourself chronically at a pretty large dose for at least 60 seconds straight to cause any damage. But the point being is the moment you breathe that in, 1 second, you are going to go in through an amazing coughing fit and you're going to go running out of the room.
Really?
Yes. It's
now what, so are you aware that, I mean, I'm aware of people who have purchased ozone generators. They're like little boxes and they put it
like
in a box. Yeah, they put it in a corner of a room, up on a piece of furniture or somewhere high, and they just let it blast into their house. Is that wise because it's not so concentrated? You're just being exposed to very passive amounts of it, or does that have any benefit?
Well, there's businesses that use ozone to clean houses and disinfect and to deodorize, and it's amazingly effective. I mean, it's seconds. If you have a foul smell and you release some ozone, gone. Now, those generators, I would be careful in regards to, it's not strong enough to get you sick, but some people are very reactive to it. Like if you're already predisposed to a respiratory issue like asthma or COPD, I wouldn't advise getting one because just the smallest little irritant of the extra ozone in the room could send somebody like that into a fit or an exacerbation. Otherwise, pretty safe. And ozone also, I don't know if you know this, Carl, is so good at sanitary purposes. That's what they use in Las Vegas to clean the water supply. They ozonate it.
To clean the what? You broke up. To clean the what?
The water supply.
Oh, really? Ozonate it.
Yeah. It's more effective than chlorine and in much lower doses. Use the entire system that way.
I buy Highbridge water. It's a local brand of water. It's out in Lexington, actually. Just east of Lexington, there's an aquifer that they've been producing drinking water from for hundreds of years, and it's called Highbridge Springs. And I notice on the bottle it says that the water is ozonated. So now I never knew why. I was like, why are they putting ozone in water? But that's why they're purifying the water, huh?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's safe. It's quick. And very, very effective.
So you said that ozone has the ability to boost immune function. And being a critical thinker, I have talked on this show more than a few times that if you have autoimmune issues, you don't want to make your immune system stronger, right? If it's already attacking your body, you don't want to arm it with better weapons to attack your body. So when we say it boosts the immune system, do you actually mean boost? Do you mean it modulates, enhances? And is this something that people with known autoimmunity should avoid, these types of ozone therapies?
That's an excellent question. No, actually, it's very effective in autoimmune diseases, whether you're talking about lupus, rheumatoid arthritis. It's amazing. And there's even a physician out of Europe by the name of Simonetti that uses it to treat MS and stabilizes MS. So that is a good point on the cytokine. So it does do a modulation. Like if you're too high, it'll bring it down. If you're too low and your immune system deficient, it'll bring up your cytokine levels. And then there's certain things we can add in if we want to avoid a certain cytokine, like a TNF alpha in an autoimmune. You include glutathione before the ozone treatment, and it blunts that specific cytokine response.
What would you broke up? What would you introduce first before the ozone therapy?
Glutathione.
Oh yeah. Okay. Sure. You know, we are learning so much more about things that affect the immune system. Dr. Blagascloni came on my show the last time I was on my show, and we talked about the fact that rapamycin is thought to be immunosuppressant, and that's how it affects rejection by kidney transplants. But he said that all of his research shows that it's not immunosuppressant. In fact, patients who are given rapamycin for both chemo and anti-rejection tend to have, they did a study on like 8,000 patients, and their occurrence of the flu and cold and all these other things that we just get, rudimentary infections we get year in and year out, was dramatically reduced, which is counterintuitive. If you're taking an immunosuppressant, then you should be getting sick all the time, or at the risk of getting sick all the time. So we're learning a lot about what we think is immunosuppressant that may actually be immunomodulatory, where it doesn't necessarily suppress the immune system. But for instance, if you have an army that doesn't know what the enemy looks like, they shoot at everything.
That's right.
But if you have an army that knows what they're looking for, they're going to be selective at what they shoot at. And we're starting to learn that a lot of things that we thought were immunosuppressant are actually selectively immunosuppressant. They just do this, but not all this vast array of other immunosuppressant things. So it's interesting that ozone may fall into one of those categories. It sounds like.
Absolutely.
So good. I'm sorry, I interrupted you right before I said that. Were you finishing
a comment? No, I was agreeing with you.
So it sounds to me like breathing ozone is probably not the way to go with people who have ozone generators. Unless
you want to cough for about an hour,
Yeah, and no. But does it produce any benefits if you breathe it? Does it get into your bloodstream if you breathe it?
The risk of the damage wouldn't be worth it. Now, a way you can get at least into your sinuses is you can put it through a syringe and blow it up in your sinuses, hold it in there for sinusitis, and then blow it out your mouth. You got to hold your breath, though. You got to make sure you don't swallow it. Another thing you can do that changes a little bit is if you put it through olive oil, it changes the ozone, and then you're able to put it through a nasal cannula directly that way, so it's not affected that way.
Does the olive oil become infused with it?
Yeah, and which is another great use for ozone.
And you can drink it too, I guess. You could take the olive oil, infuse the ozone-infused olive oil, and take a tablespoon a day. And
absolutely, and you can do it that way. It's great for GI issues, or you can apply it topically. It's good for wrinkles. It's also good for cellulitis, or again, back to the fungal infections. You put that on your toes or your toenails. It clears it right up.
So these ozone generators that are being sold today, pretty much willy-nilly, they do have risks if people don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, and if they're not good quality, absolutely, there's always things to worry about. Especially if you're using them for medical purposes, you want to make sure they're very precise and give you the precise dose every time. So you don't want one that's going to break, or you have to have calibrated, and then you use that for a specific dosing. It doesn't work well, then you might have given somebody a subtherapeutic or a super therapeutic use for it. There are a few good companies that make really good home use ones. Probably the most commonly used one is one called Longevity, and they're out of Canada. They make multiple models, but they will recalibrate yours every year. They'll fix the problems with it, and it's an extremely reliable machine.
But how would you use that? You'd have to use. You couldn't breathe it. In other words, you'd have to use it for either, rectal What do you say? Infusation or whatever.
Insufflation.
Yeah, insufflation. I mean, you'd have to do that with it. You can't just put it in the corner of your room and let it run all the time.
No, you wouldn't want to do that. So you would use those machines for home use for, like, it's again for like the limb bagging, if you want to do that for the cellulitis. If you want to do the rectal applications, which is a great way to get it systemically, probably the most effective way, minus the blood. The other things you can do is make the water with it, or the ozonated water. You can insufflate it through your ears, and then you can also place it vaginally if you're having vaginal infections. It's excellent for that. And then you can also, again, do it bladder if you needed to.
I want to take a break, and when we come back, I want to talk more about these types of approaches by, searching out a physician that does this and having some of these therapeutic approaches provided. We're talking today with Dr. Justin Arambasick. He is a physician over at the Wild Health Organization in Lexington, Kentucky, not too far from where I am right now. And these guys are doing some great things with helping people not only avoid disease, but literally turn back the clock on aging. They're not a one-trick pony. You go to one doctor, it's all about peptides. You go to another doctor, it's all about. It's like they incorporate every type of discipline that's effective, including hard training, like an athlete. And that's why I have a lot of respect for them, because a lot of anti-aging clinics today, they're not telling people about the value of getting out there and working hard and how that pushes back disease states. So, all right, stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Superhuman Radio.
Mind Bullet is a kratom product derived from the coffee family to boost energy and creative juices. Mind Bullet comes in both pill and liquid form for the ultimate pre-workout supplement. When needing a little pick-me-up or to get through the morning fog, Mind Bullet will set your productive course fast. Go to shrnetwork.biz/mindbullet, all one word, today, and save 20%. No subscription required. That's shrnetwork.biz/mindbullet. Get yours today.
Do you remember those delicious toaster pastries you had when you were a kid? The rectangular sugar-filled snacks? Well, guess what? Legendary Foods has just made low-carb toaster pastry. This is the first of its kind, and honestly, these things are amazing. They have 3 to 4 net carb, less than 1 gram of sugar, and 9 grams of protein. You can eat them right out of the wrapper or lightly toast them. The only question is, which flavor, strawberry or brown sugar cinnamon? They're available at eatlegendary.com and Amazon. Whether your goal is to build muscle or burn fat, you'll find everything you need at Redcon One. Need help getting a good night's sleep? Try Fade Out, or the most popular pre-workout supplement on the market today, Total War. Sign up for their new Transformation Challenge and win $10,000, or shop for apparel that people at the gym will know that you are serious about your training. Need a testosterone booster that works? Check out Boomstick. Whatever you need, you'll find the best quality supplements on the market at Redcon One. Go to redcon1.com. That's REDCON, the number 1.com, or go to superhumanradio.net and click the Redcon 1 banner ad today.
Proper hydration can lead to improved endurance, performance, and recovery. When we sweat, we lose valuable electrolytes that must be replaced. That's why Element created a zero-sugar, science-backed ratio of electrolytes that you can add to your water. It comes in 3 flavors. Sample them all risk-free with the Element Variety Pack. Carl's favorite is raspberry. Free shipping on all U.S. orders. Go to shrnetwork.biz/LMNT and get yours today.
Chronic stress leaves us tired, distracted, and physically vulnerable. Apollo Neuro is here to help you take control. Apollo Neuro is a new wearable that trains your nervous system to be more resilient to stress. Apollo's gentle vibrations use your sense of touch to help you recover from stress, going from fight or flight to rest and digest so you can relax, get to sleep, focus, and stay healthy. Developed by physicians and neuroscientists, Apollo Neuro has been tested in multiple clinical trials and is proven to improve heart rate variability, the key biometric of stress. Special offer for friends of Superhuman Radio. Try Apollo Neuro today and get 15% off your purchase at apolloneuro.com/superhuman. That's APOLLONEURO.com/superhuman. Everybody wants to feel better, be healthier and happier. If you don't sweat profusely on a regular basis, you won't feel as good as you could. Studies have shown the power of infrared sauna. Infrared penetrates 1 to 2 inches into the body. It helps those with back pain, fibromyalgia, arthritis, depression, and anxiety. Patients get relief from infrared sauna. The Good Health Sauna has been shown to be an exercise mimetic, conveying many of the same benefits as cardio. There are a lot of reasons people buy a Good Health Sauna, but the bottom line is you will be a much happier, healthier person by using the Good Health Sauna every day. You'll crave it, you'll love it, and it will be the best purchase you have ever made. Good Health Saunas provide commercial-grade saunas for in-home and commercial use, backed by the best lifetime warranty in the industry. Unmatched customer service and the best financing makes owning one easy and will fit any budget. Go to goodhealthsauna.com/superhumanradio to learn more and save 25% off.
You're listening to the Superhuman Channel. We're ripped and we're ready.
Welcome back to Superhuman Radio. We're talking today with Dr. Justin Arambasick. He is a physician with the Wild Health Group in Lexington, Kentucky. If you live in this region, there's a great facility there where you can see a group of doctors who are on the bleeding edge of practicing medicine, the type of medicine we like in this audience, which is the medicine not of treating type 2 diabetes or high cholesterol, but actually allowing you to thrive and live a life unhampered by disease. And that really is what medicine should be. I call it optimistic medicine. I call allopathic medicine pessimistic medicine because it's all about you're already sick and now let's keep you from dying. Optimistic medicine is about, oh my God, I am getting better and better every day. I don't have a disease. I'm living my life. And that's the way medicine should be practiced. So let's talk about the therapeutic visit. If someone came to your clinic and said, okay, I want to get the blood infused ozone, how do they proceed? Do they have to have a complete blood work and workup? Could they have some nagging injuries that they discuss with you and you think, yeah, this could help you? What's the triage like?
So as you alluded to, it's patient dependent. It depends on what they're coming in for. Now, if they had a nagging pain or a joint issue, that's one thing we haven't talked about yet, but we can inject it into the joint. This has been amazing for many people. It's a great non-invasive in regards to whether you'd have surgery or not, treatment for joint pain. So all people can have their joint pain resolved, whether it's from arthritis or even a partial tear of the ligament can be healed. It decreases the pain and people can get out of their joint replacement period sometimes. Sometimes they just go for several years putting it off. It's good for knee pain, joint, knee, elbow, spine, anywhere in your back, low back pain, which is, how many people are crippled.
So does it act as an analgesic or does it do something magical where because I'm preparing to go and have intra-articular injection in my right hip because of a bent over rowing session that went wrong. I got too wide and I felt this grinding in my hip and it's progressively gotten worse. I now have hip pain. And for those of you who think hip pain is out here by your pockets of your jeans, it's not. It's in where your junk is. It's in your crotch. When you have a bad hip, It's in your crotch. So I have people tell, I have a bad hip too. And they go like this, and they grab their butt. And I say, that's not your hip. You know what I mean? Your hip is in here. The hip joint is in here. When you look at the pelvis and how the legs attach to it, it's in your groin. But I'm going to have intra-articular growth hormone injection combined with stem cells and PRP. And I'm wondering if I could add ozone to the mix, and how would I do it? Do they ozonate a liquid and then inject it in there? Could they use a medium if I'm having hyaluronic acid is going to be used as well with me? How would you get the how would you encapsulate, if you will, the ozone to put it in an intra-articular joint?
Air. I just ozonate, turn it into O3, and I inject it straight in. We've done that. We've done that and combined it with exosomes. You can combine it with PRP and exosomes. In fact, there's studies showing the effectiveness of them together is better than either one alone. And you can do it all at the same time. That's another great thing about the ozone is you can add it to any other therapy. It's just a needle application. And then even by itself, ozone itself is anesthetic. And why does it heal? You asked, and we're talking about different mechanisms. So what heals your body? What is the most important nutrient your body needs? It's oxygen, right? Can't live for 3 minutes without oxygen. You can go 3 days, without water. Right. 30 days for food, but oxygen 3 minutes. So what does oxygen do? It carries the components in the blood to the joint to heal. Well, what's wrong with joints in regards to that? They have very poor blood flow, right? There's not a lot of vasculature in joints.
They're mainly avascular when you think about it. Other than the actual cartilage itself, which has microvascular going to it, but all soft tissue and joints are virtually avascular.
Absolutely. So how are they going to heal? And that's why they don't heal, since it doesn't get the oxygen, the blood, and the nutrients it needs. So what we end up doing is placing the ozone there, which is your oxygenation, the superoxygenation, very reactive. And what does that do? We put other vitamins and minerals in there that will repolarize cell membranes, will decrease inflammation. And what happens when you decrease the inflammation? Oxygen can transfer through the tissues better. And then this activates the cells to start healing. And so your body heals itself that way with the ozone and the vitamin mix. That's the thing about ozone. It's not so much as a drug as it's a biologic modifier. It tells your body and your cells to start working better and more optimally and produce the things it's already producing. And that's why we like it at Wild Health. It's an adjunct to what your body is already doing.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. So earlier in the conversation, and then I'm going to get back to the sessions themselves. So we know that peroxidase is a free radical. Peroxidase it's not good. It deteriorates tissue and so on. But you said that ozone increases some other type of peroxide, which is beneficial, correct?
Yeah, it's lipid peroxides or peroxisomes. It's just the ozonides. And so that's the mechanism of how it gets through your blood and has its reactions. So it's an oxidant, but some people be like, oxidants are bad, right? But no, they're good. You know that, I know that. What do oxidants do in your body? Superoxide dismutase. So that's a very beneficial oxide. Nitric oxide, huge. We all know that what's that good for vasodilation. It improves blood flow. Very important. Your body naturally produces a little bit of ozone. Did you know that, Carl? Everybody's does.
I didn't know that.
In regards to cellular response and infection, it's been studied and proven and shown, and your body also produces hydrogen peroxide to fight off infections and a little bit of bleach. So these oxidants are very beneficial when regulated and upregulated when they need to. So that's how ozone works. It's an oxidant.
So if someone came to the clinic and said, I want to undergo blood infused ozone, what would the process be like? How long do they have to stay? How long does the process take?
So it depends on if we're adding anything in before or after. It usually doesn't take too long. The process itself The rate limiting, as you know, is getting access. Once we get access, and most people, it's pretty easy. We get it really quickly. And then approximately 20, 25 minutes to remove the blood. That takes a good 5 or 10 minutes. And then we infuse it back in another 20, 25 minutes. So you can have one major autochemotherapy in an hour. Totally lost you. We're good, hopefully. Yeah. A little bit. I don't know why it's so bad all of a sudden. It's up all the way. I think.
Hey, it's me. Hold on.
There it is.
There you go. You can hear me now, right?
Yeah. What was that? Great.
I have no idea. I got a ghost in this mixer board. I think I've got to go get a new mixer board. I think that's what it is.
No
Okay,
worries.
so I guess the question I have is, it just takes about an hour round trip, right? You draw the blood out, you ozonate it, and then you put it back in. Correct?
Correct.
How frequently can you have that therapy done?
You can have it done every day, sometimes twice a day if you really wanted to, depending on whether it's an acute infection. But generally, depending on whether you're loading a dose twice a week, once a week, and then once you're on a maintenance or you're just doing it preventative once a month.
So if you're trying to reverse a disease state that you feel that the ozone is good for, would you do it at least once a week?
Yes. Yes.
What is the average cost of doing an ozone blood infusion?
So again, it would depend on what we had to add in, any other vitamin C or glutathione, but the actual blood transfusion itself and ozonation, $200.
Oh, that's very
Roughly.
inexpensive. That's very
Roughly.
inexpensive.
Yeah.
And you feel it. You literally, like, after a session, you feel different, right?
Yeah. So and don't hold me, it's somewhere around 200, 250. And then the ozone joint injections is a great alternative to surgery. And it's much cheaper too. Like we can do that like $300, and we only need a few of those too. So they're both very affordable treatments.
Right. This is fascinating. I may actually set up an appointment with you to come and do the blood infused ozone just to give
Absolutely.
it a try. Notice. Then we could talk about it on the show afterwards, what I notice. So what goes good with ozone? So if somebody is undergoing ozone therapy, is there something that helps it work better? I know you mentioned glutathione, but are there any other things that can be done to create kind of a precursor, if you will, to the therapeutic process?
So if you want to increase cytokines, there was a study that showed that if you add in just calcium chloride or calcium gluconate to the ozone mixture, it upregulates cytokine production across the board. So that's one thing that we often do. And then vitamin C afterwards is also extremely helpful. You don't want to give the vitamin C before, because then the ozone will oxidize or the vitamin C itself. So that will ruin the ozone treatment. You don't want to have any vitamin C or any antioxidants for like at least 3 or 4 hours before the treatment, but afterwards it's extremely helpful. Other things you can add in are, if you wanted to add some other treatments like for vasodilation, such as some magnesium, if you want to get blood flow. But ozone itself makes, as we discussed earlier, nitric oxide, so it's a potent nitric oxide producer, so it helps blood flow, so it's good for claudication in regards to that. That takes several treatments. The other thing that I wanted to say that we didn't really talk about is when we were talking about immune function and effects was when you think about immune function, the other thing it does is NRF2. It activates your NRF2, which is your master regulator for your immune function. It upregulates all your antioxidant capacity and antioxidant systems. And the other thing that it does is it upregulates your 2,3-DPG for blood flow. So part of oxygen utilization is getting oxygen delivery. Just because the oxygen's in your blood doesn't mean you're getting it, right? It's not absorbing it. So ozone itself produces more 2,3-DPG. So what does that mean? The blood cell has to go a long way from your heart down to your foot, right? And so there's a lot of capillaries that get stuck through. And actually the real small capillaries, some blood cells are actually bigger than the actual capillary itself. So it has to fold around. It's called the rheology of blood. So it improves your rheology, improves your 2,3-DPG, which is helps you offload the oxygen from the hemoglobin. And then ultimately, what's the main effect on mitochondria? I wanted to make sure we hit this hard, was it increases your NAD to NADH ratio. And I know
really? And everybody's taking NAD plus all the time. Right.
Yeah. What all the caloric restriction and fasting, this does that. It optimizes your NAD to NADH ratio. It's one of the few things that can.
So I want to go back to something. So you said rheology. Is that a relationship to the Rouleau effect of red blood cells? How they stack?
Correct.
So I know it makes them unstack, you're saying?
Yes.
The only thing I've ever known that actually reverses the Rouleau effect, which the Rouleau effect causes your red blood cells not to be able to give off the oxygen they're carrying. If you think of 6 coins stacked together, the only surface area is the top one and the bottom one, and all the ones in the middle, they're robbed of their ability to deliver oxygen. And so when I was at Quest one year for the think tank process that Ron Penner used to put on over there, they actually used a grounding mat, and they had a dark field microscope, and we had somebody who was a phlebotomist there, and they showed this gal who was working there. They drew her blood. We looked at it. And there were numerous occurrences of red blood cells stacked together, which is the Rouleau effect. And then after just sitting at her desk for 15 minutes with a grounding strap on her wrist and barefoot with her feet on a grounding pad, they did it again, and all of those stacked red blood cells were gone. They were all nice and evenly spaced. And I was like, wow, that's when I became a believer in grounding. I don't know if it helps you sleep better. I don't know any of that stuff, but it definitely does something good when it makes the red blood cells unstack like that. So you're saying ozone does that?
Correct.
Wow.
And, that goes off what you're saying with grounding and PEMF. That's supposed to be good for the Rouleau effect also.
Yeah. I actually sleep with the unit. I have a unit that I've slept with for close to 2 decades now. We're going to take a quick commercial break. I've got more questions to ask. Stay tuned. You're listening to and watching Superhuman Radio. Are you still on the fence about Body Protection Complex BPC Oral from drseeds.com? Listen to Maggie Kuhn, one of the owners of the C-Bus Lifting Company gym in Columbus, Ohio.
I had been having some nagging tendon issues that weren't injuries, just things that were annoying. I'm 58 years old, so just older tendon kind of issues. For us powerlifters, we really don't stop training when we have just nagging issues. We just kind of keep pushing through. And I started the BPC. What I noticed was I was doing doing some heavy tricep stuff that would have killed me before when I had an elbow problem, and I was able to do those with literally no pain at all.
Go to drseeds.com, drseeds.com. Use coupon code SHR and save 20% off your bottle of BPC Body Protection Complex today. I love beef, and if you love beef, listen up. I've discovered the best tasting beef in the world, and that's not an exaggeration, at Piedmontese.com. The Piedmontese breed is famous from Italy for being lean and unbelievably tender, with half the fat and calories of traditional beef. Even typically tough cuts are tender when it comes from the Piedmontese cows. And for the first time ever, Piedmontese cows are being raised here in the USA. Get 25% off all beef and free shipping on orders $100 or more at Piedmontese.com with code SHR. Go to Piedmontese.com and use code SHR today. You will never eat any other type of beef ever again. My friends over at Bioptimizers, makers of industry-leading digestive supplements, have created a special recipe for you that helps boost brain performance in the morning. They make products Primergen V and Primergen M, potent liquid vitamins and minerals with global vitamin Bs and trace minerals in a fulvic and humic acid base. You stack that with 3 capsules of Capex, their enzyme and energy supplement, and the effect is even stronger. You'll be buzzing without jitters or any negative side effects for hours. Bioptimizers calls this the Brain Boost Stack, and they're running a special promotion for you at shrnetwork.biz/brainstack. That's shrnetwork.biz/BRAINSTACK. You can get an additional 10% off from the normal package price with the coupon code SHR10. It's a powerful way to get your brain going and optimize your daily focus, memory, and performance.
Quest Nutrition makes bars, cookies, chips, and pizzas out of complete dairy-based proteins. Our products minimize net carbs and sugar without sacrificing taste. Each delicious chocolate-flavored chip, cookie chunk, and crunchy crumble is custom made to maintain Quest macros. It's time to enjoy foods that work for you, not against you. It's time to enjoy your Quest.
New Mass Pro Synthogen X2 just upped its own legendary game. To distance itself even further from the rest of the pack, Synthogen X2 now has double the key active ingredients. If you've ever wondered what steroid-like recovery feels like, Synthogen X2 delivers. See why others compare it favorably to powerful bodybuilding drugs at Synthogen.com. Mass Pro Synthogen. When you train with it, you'll gain with it.
Guys, you've heard about this revolutionary acoustic wave technology that improves your sexual performance. It's been used in Europe for 20 years and has a 90% success rate of reversing symptoms of ED. Even if you're not suffering from ED, it can take you back to peak sexual performance of your younger days. The Phoenix uses powerful sound waves to clear plaque blockage and substantially increase blood flow. It's easy to use, has no side effects, and can be done in the privacy of your own home. Doctors have been charging thousands of dollars for these treatments. Go to shrnetwork.biz/Phoenix and use the code SHR for a special superhuman deal. Regain your sexual prowess today.
This is the Superhuman Channel. Evolution just got kicked up a notch.
Back. We're talking with Dr. Justin Arambasick. I'm trying to get my microphone straightened out. I see a problem. There's definitely a problem in this board. Can you hear me okay right now?
I can.
I'm not very low?
No. Good now.
Okay. Yeah, but there's definitely a problem. So anyway, we have a lot of people that suffer from the diabetes metabolic category of diseases. Is this something that doctors should be talking to their patients about if they do suffer from diabetes, type 2 diabetes, and obesity, dyslipidemia? Is this something that could be used as a prophylactic to protect them while they try to get their disease state under control?
It is definitely a treatment, and there's studies showing the effects of upregulating mitochondria on mouse and their effect in diabetes, and people do use this for diabetes management. And it goes back to the utilization again. We upregulate the mitochondria. What happens? Their metabolic rate increases. They sometimes, as a side effect, and I can't say this happens all the time, but people that use this therapy upregulate their mitochondria and they end up losing weight as a side effect because of the energy production. So it is good for diabetic management or as an adjunct to diabetes. And it's also good for all the other infections that go along with diabetes. That's what we see a lot. We see the leg infections, we see the decubitus ulcers and the cellulitis, and it's excellent for that as well.
So the reason for peripheral neuropathy is shifting. Originally,
I lost you that time. Now you're good. There it is.
Yeah, it's my mic. Something's wrong. This is a brand new mic. I took the old mic down and put this one up. The only thing I could think of is it's the mixer board that the mic is going into. I'm going to try switching channels here. Hold on a second. Test. Let's see if that's it. It could be that where I was jacked into. Let's see. Test. Can you hear me okay right now?
Sounds great.
All right, let's try that. It could be that port that I was plugged into. It may have gone. I mean, this equipment is better than 14 years old. So 5. Okay. Sorry for that, everybody. We know now that peripheral neuropathy is not what we thought it was. We thought it was demyelination as a result of advanced glycation. But now we're learning that it has a vascular origin. Microvasculature that feeds the nerves start to get choked off, and the nerves literally start to die. And is there any value in that particular model of peripheral neuropathy to using this type of a therapy?
Yeah, it has been shown to decrease pain for sure from their neuropathy, and it does again sort of upregulate the cellular processes, and people have had benefit from neuropathy symptoms.
So, if the analgesic effects of it, how long do they last after the blood infusion?
So the blood infusion is not so much for the analgesic effect immediately. That's more as you get the inflammation down, and when that's through the cytokines will bring some of the pain under bear. The analgesic effect is mostly from joint injections, if you're looking for an immediate effect.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I was just curious because we have a rampant group of our population right now that are suffering from, and I think they're nutritional, just for the record. I think that there are certain things in our life today that everybody partakes in. My thought is coffee that damages the gut and causes certain nutritional deficiencies, if you will. I was just reading a good study on vitamin E, and people who have malabsorption of vitamin E, they can take as much as 10,000 IUs a day and absorb very little of it. Did you lose me again?
No, good. It's so good.
Okay.
I had to turn it down.
Oh, okay. So I think that there's a lot going on with the gut and nutritional deficiencies and people who have pretty good diet, or at least dietary intake, that are leading to some of these neuropathies. And I'm always looking for answers and information about that, because I know a lot of people who email me and message me that they feel like they have gloves and socks on all the time. And that's characteristic of a B vitamin deficiency. But they're not deficient in B vitamin because they get their blood work done and we look and they're like, oh, you're not deficient in these things. So there's something else going on. And we have neuropathy is a big problem today, a huge problem.
Absolutely. And I couldn't agree more. And you're right on. And there's so many factors and causes. As an aside, I would tell you that there's a red light therapy that also has ultraviolet light called the Firefly device. That's supposedly amazing for neuropathy immediately after you use it. And sometimes people have effects. But the studies and the effect with ozone is there. It does improve blood flow, improves nutrient delivery, and therefore decreases a lot of the inflammation in regards to the neuropathy pain.
Yeah. This has been a fascinating discussion. So what is it? What is ozone not good for that it's promoted? We already established that breathing it is not a good idea. So people buy ozone generators and just keep them in their homes running all the time. That's probably not a good idea. What other things is it not good for?
Well, we did go over the gray hair. It's not too good for that. I would say that it's not the best in regards to just solitary therapies. People will they'll hear this and they were going to think, like you said, and I was a big non-believer at the beginning too. I'm like, oh, this smells, it's like snake oil here, but it's not, it affects so many different systems, but it's not to be done by itself. So if you come in thinking this one shot of ozone or this one treatment's going to change it, sometimes it does make a difference in one, but most of the time it takes several. So it's not this magic bullet that's going to take one injection or one blood treatment, you're going to get better. We usually have to do a series of them, whether it's the joint injections, sometimes 5 or 6 to really feel a big difference. And then the blood, like I said, maybe every week for a little bit until we get it under control. Those are things that have to be considered. It's not a magic bullet one time. It's really good also, and I didn't throw this out here, but you can watch a YouTube video on it. It's amazing. If somebody wants a quick view of it, like spider veins on YouTube, you type in, gone. You can watch them disappear.
So how is that applied? Is it from infusion, or you have to directly inject it into the vein?
You just sub-Q injection, because you can do sub-Q as well.
In the general vicinity. In other words, you don't have to get into the vein, just in the general vicinity of the vein.
Correct.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, you talk about something, you just see the magic of something immediately.
Now, how long lasting is that? If you use it to get rid of spider veins, how long does it last?
It depends on the person. It can last for a long time. They might not come back at all. Some people need a redose, but it's,
But who cares? That's an easy one.
Absolutely. The other things that it's really good for that we didn't really talk about was also a lot of people suffer from mold and mycotoxin illnesses and Lyme disease. And so it's good for chronic infections like that, resistant EBV, things that have been around for a long time, because it has a major effect on those. But again, that takes, several treatments, but it works really well.
Wow. I didn't know that. That's amazing. We did a whole show on Lyme disease recently with a guy who's Dr. Horowitz. He's doing some amazing work, publishing some amazing papers. I never knew about that. That's interesting. That's very, very, very fascinating. There's a lot of women out there with Lyme disease, and they're treated like they're crazy by physicians. Like, oh, you don't have anything wrong with you. Go away. Leave me alone. It's very, very sad. Kind of like menopause. It's how doctors used to treat women with menopause. There's nothing wrong with you. Go away. Leave me alone. I'm a doctor. This has been fascinating. How do people reach Wild Health if they are in the vicinity and they want to drive out to Lexington and maybe take a look at this type of therapeutic approach? How would they reach you at Wild Health?
So we have a website, wildhealth.com, and it will list providers and different treatments. And as you know, we're multifactorial, and there's a lot of different aspects of care you can get through from there. You can give us a call at 859-523-4375. Again, it's 859-523-4375. And, you could also email me or at justin.arambasick@wildhealth.com.
And Arambasick is Arambasick, just like it sounds.
Correct.
There you go. Listen, I want to thank you so much for making time to come on the show. And I think I'm going to take you up on that. I think I'll reach out to you in the next week or so and come out and try a blood infusion, see what happens.
Can't hurt. Love to have you.
Can't hurt.
I think you're good.
All right, Justin. Thank you for being here. Yeah, I'm sure it will. And I'll be able to discuss more at length the nagging problems I'm trying to get rid of right now. So
thank you. Thank you for all you do, Carl. I love the show.
Thank you so much for saying that. Talk soon. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, I'll wrap up the show. Stay tuned. Everybody wants to feel better, be healthier and happier. If you don't sweat profusely on a regular basis, you won't feel as good as you could. Studies have shown the power of infrared sauna. Infrared penetrates 1 to 2 inches into the body. It helps those with back pain, fibromyalgia, arthritis, depression, and anxiety. Patients get relief from infrared sauna. The Good Health Sauna has been shown to be an exercise mimetic, conveying many of the same benefits as cardio. There are a lot of reasons people buy a Good Health Sauna, but the bottom line is you will be a much happier, healthier person by using the Good Health Sauna every day. You'll crave it it, you'll love it, and it will be the best purchase you have ever made. Good Health Saunas provide commercial-grade saunas for in-home and commercial use, backed by the best lifetime warranty in the industry. Unmatched customer service and the best financing makes owning one easy and will fit any budget. Go to goodhealthsauna.com/superhumanradio to learn more and save 25% off. Are you still on the fence about Body Protection Complex BPC Oral from drseeds.com? Listen to Maggie Kuhn, one of the owners of the C-Bus Lifting Company gym in Columbus, Ohio.
I had been having some nagging tendon issues that weren't injuries, just things that were annoying. I'm 58 years old, so just older tendon kind of issues. For us powerlifters, we really don't stop training when we have just nagging issues. We just kind of keep pushing through. And I started BPC. What I noticed was I was doing some heavy tricep stuff that would have killed me before when I had an elbow problem, and I was able to do this with literally no pain at all.
Go to drseeds.com, drseeds.com. Use coupon code SHR and save 20% off your bottle of BPC Body Protection Complex today.
Want to improve mental energy and focus? Try the new Superhuman Stack from Pure Nootropics. Stack Dynamins, L-Butamin, Theocrine, and palmitoyl ethanolamide together and feel the lights go on in your brain. Find your perfect mix of these four. Carl likes 1 cap of each and 2 caps of Dynamin. Bam! Lights on. Go to shrnetwork.biz/superhuman stack, all one word, today, and get yours for 25% off plus free shipping. That's shrnetwork.biz/superhuman stack.
Chronic stress leaves us tired, distracted, and physically vulnerable. Apollo Neuro is here to help you take control. Apollo Neuro is a new wearable that trains your nervous system to be more resilient to stress. Apollo's gentle vibrations use your sense of touch to help you recover from stress, going from fight or flight to rest and digest so you can relax, get to sleep, focus, and stay healthy. Developed by physicians and neuroscientists, Apollo Neuro has been tested in multiple clinical trials and is proven to improve heart rate variability, the key biometric of stress. Special offer for friends of Superhuman Radio. Try Apollo Neuro today and get 15% off your purchase at apolloneuro.com/superhuman. That's APOLLONEURO.com/superhuman. Whether your goal is to build muscle or burn fat, you'll find everything you need at Redcon One. Need help getting a good night's sleep? Try Fade Out, or the most popular pre-workout supplement on the market today, Total War. Sign up for their new Transformation Challenge and win $10,000, or shop for apparel that will make you curious about your training. Need a testosterone booster that works? Check out Boomstick. Whatever you need, you'll find the best quality supplements on the market at Redcon One. Go to redcon1.com. That's REDCON, the number 1.com, or go to superhumanradio.net and click the Redcon One banner ad today.
When craving a snack, reach for Select Savory Snack Sugar-Free Biltong, the healthy alternative to sugar-laden beef jerky. They use a fattier cut of beef, making it more tender and flavorful. For mealtime, choose from their 63 seasonings, which are sugar and additive-free. From chipotle rub to savory pumpkin spice, you'll find an option to suit your palate. Go to shrnetwork.biz/SSS today. Use code SHR15 to save 15% on any meat snack or seasoning. Savor the flavor today.
You're listening to the Superhuman Channel. Don't hate us because we feel good.
Hey, welcome back. I got to get used to pressing a new button now because I'm using the new port for the microphone. I think I just need to buy I have this Mackie soundboard that I've had for probably the better part of, not 14 years, that's not true, probably 12 years. And it's never given me a problem. So it's probably due to be swapped out. I need some new equipment anyway. I'm building this new studio. It kind of got way laid because there's so much other things going on right now. I'm reintroducing Primal D, by the way. For those of you who love Primal D, it's going to be better than ever. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, so about 5 or 6 years ago, I introduced the first and patented the first topically delivered vitamin D supplement in the world. The science is so profound. Adele Musa wrote the white paper on it for me. You don't have to worry about calcification from taking too much. It's just, look, we make vitamin D in our skin. Your skin is prepared to manage vitamin D production. Why do we take it orally? Because it's simple? No. You spray it on your arm, you rub it in, and you go about your business. And then, obviously we want people to test before using it and after using it so that they can find their own personal sweet spot, how many sprays they need a day. But it really is vitamin D the way nature intended you to get it. So we're reintroducing the Primal D product. So that I've been working on that with Pat Arnold's people. Pat's fantastic. I'm building this new studio. I've got the testosterone product is being completely revamped. We thought we had it working great. There's some problems with it. We came out with a better alternative. It's going to be a daily testosterone injection. We're actually going to be able to patent it because it's going to be so unique compared to anything else out there that it's going to be stunning. And once again, see, when you look at how I think, Primal D, vitamin D the way nature intended you to get it, Thrive protein powder built around the constructs of human breast milk because nature made that to be food for humans. The natural rhythm injectable, once daily injectable testosterone product, because that's the way your body produces testosterone. I'm all about looking at physiology and biology and saying, well, if we're going to replace something, let's do it the way the body intended it to be. And I never really thought about it, but that's when you look at the products that I'm developing, it's all about how they are appropriate for the human condition. Appropriate. And so those are the things I'm working on. I'm building a new studio, so I'm going to have to buy some new equipment. There's no doubt about it. So a couple of things I wanted to mention. Can you believe that we're giving away a sauna worth $5,799, and we said that we would do the drawing once we reach 300 entry forms. I'm looking for the link right now, so bear with me for a second. We've had over 24,000 people visit the sign-up page, but we still don't have a total of 300 signatures, sign-ups. I don't know what it is. Like, why wouldn't you want a $6,000 sauna for free? First of all, I thought, well, maybe it's because the room it takes up, right? People are like, well, where am I going to fit that? I don't have the room to fit that. But this is a corner, it's a 3-person corner unit, which means that it has a smaller footprint than a 2-person unit, which would just go along the wall. And I'm still flabbergasted that people have not just jumped all over this. So if you are someone who is interested in the sauna, it's not gone yet. Your chances are not gone yet. You can still enter to win it. I'm going to find the link so I can give it to you. Just bear with me here. Where is it? That's the beef one. Here we go. Good Health Sauna. That's not it. But but again, while I'm looking for it, it's just baffling to me. Like, people sign up for free stuff all the time, stuff they have no intentions of ever using. And here's a sauna worth $6,000 shipped to you completely free. And over 24,000 people have visited the page. The page is shrnetwork.biz/free sauna. Very easy. So shrnetwork.biz/FREESAUNA, all lowercase. And you can sign up. We still have room for more entry forms. You could be the winner. You could go, oh, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and do this. And it could be you. You could be getting a $6,000 sauna delivered to your home. And it's their Good Health Saunas has the best customer service, the best warranty in the industry. No EMF produced by their saunas. Nothing toxic used to build their saunas. It's the best sauna in the world. So take advantage of that. Also, we've gotten some really nice videos from people. I've asked the listeners of this show and the viewers now with video, if this show has impacted you in any way. Maybe you think I'm a jerk. I want to hear that. Luckily, we haven't gotten any of those yet, but I'm waiting for hey, Carl, you asked for this. shrnetwork.biz/your story. Video your 3-minute commentary about the show, what the show has done for you, what you like about the show, what you don't like about the show, and upload it there. shrnetwork.biz/your story. And let us know what you like or what you don't like. And lastly, a lot of people don't know this, but we now have a live stream back. So the thing that made this show popular and off topic was we had a live audio stream that people could listen to and message us and stuff like that. And then it went away for literally a couple years, and it's back. And if you go to superhumanradio.net/live player, you don't have to miss an episode just because you're not near your computer. You can take it with you on the subway, at your office. You can listen to the show live stream starting at 1 p.m. Eastern every single day. Again, superhumanradio.net/live player, and enjoy the audio version of the show. You don't have to miss the live show at all if you don't want to. And that's really, it works from any iPhone, any smartphone, Android, and it works from your computer too. If you're sitting in front of your computer and you just want to listen to the show, you can't watch it, that's the way to do it. So check it out. And again, share these shows. Please share the shows. You can help so many people. There's somebody out there who may hear this Ozone show and think, oh, I'm going to go try it. And they remedy a problem. So always share the shows, not for me, but for the potential people that we can help by inviting them into the fold of the Superhuman Nation. And that's it for today. We have more shows Thursday and Friday. We have a great show Friday. We got a really exciting pep talk coming up next week that's going to show you that a simple peptide that's available right now that I use can give you the same kind of gains as trenbolone without any of the negative effects of trenbolone. Shocking, but true. So stay tuned for that one as well. All right, see everybody tomorrow with more Superhuman Radio, and thank you for watching and listening today.